Okay, good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 9th, 2023 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here?
Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 18th, 2023.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bid openings, I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives.
I have one.
Mr. Gordish is making his way. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Button is actually at NERC getting us more federal dollars. Yay. So Douglas Street needs one more day and it'll be done Monday. It was supposed to be done Sunday, but they had some issues with some equipment, so I didn't see it a big deal. So there's going to be a one-day just extension. So I would recommend approval for that.
Okay.
Motion to approve the one-day extension for the Douglas Street construction.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What was the final date now?
Monday.
It'll be definitely, they were trying to get it open on Sunday. They are actually working on Sunday too, also.
Okay. You good? Mark, or you have something else?
No. you
Okay,
can-
okay, I got you.
that's it.
Anything else from department heads or their representatives? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $4,142 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 177th and 179th Street reconstruction with change order number 1 with Reith Riley Construction for the additional striping and parking blocks for Oxbow Park parking lot.
So basically, this was a community crossings grant, 50/50. We came in under, but this wasn't originally in the bid, so we're going to have to pay for it, but it finishes the project from the standpoint of the parking lot with handicap spaces and parking blocks, and I would recommend going down there because it's a fantastic change. It's amazing what it used to be to what it is, so I'm happy with it, and I would recommend approval.
Motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $149,563.86 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Holman Avenue Phase 1 reconstruction and supplemental construction engineering with American Structure Point.
And this was approved by the CIB board Monday. This is actually additional engineering services to watch over the project since the project's has had many issues with utilities and so forth in the vaulted basements. So the project will be done next year. So I would recommend approval. And that's Mr. Kennedy's firm. So if you'd like to ask Mr. Kennedy any questions, he's here representing.
No, we're
No?
We're
Okay,
good with-
I recommend approval.
We're good with Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the petition for retirement of Sergeant Thomas Andrews, Jr., effective the close of business on November 8th, 2023, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 32 years, and the resignation of Officer Juan Carrasco, effective the close of business on November 1st, 2023.
Motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, correspondence received from Jeffrey Smith, Fire Chief, requesting approval of the amendment to Fire Department rules and regulations and recommending the demotions of the following EMT 1, Matthew Matz, demoted to the rank of engineer retroactive to October 25th, 2023, and EMT 2, Stephen Tepper, demoted to the rank of private second class, retroactive to October 24th, 2023.
Motion to approve Chief Smith's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, correspondence received from City of Whiting advising of their Christmas parade on December 1st, 2023, at and requesting no parking signs posted on the east and west side of the 1900 block of Davis, and requesting EMA and/or Hammond Police to aid in traffic control.
Yeah, we're good. We already have it on the schedule, sir.
Motion to approve the request from the City of Whiting.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 8, matters from board members?
No, sir?
Nothing.
Nobody? Okay, moving on to number 9, new business, letter A, agreement between Hammond Waterworks, City of Hammond, and City of Chicago Heights regarding overpayment and future payments submitted for approval.
Good morning to the board. This has to do with a situation regarding measurement of certain water that was sold to Chicago Heights at the meter. I believe the water department has indicated that they've resolved this issue so that it won't be a problem going forward. But to true up the issues between us and Chicago Heights, we need to get this agreement signed. I believe, if it hasn't been already, the mayor will sign it, and Mayor Gonzalez from Chicago Heights, I believe, already has signed it.
She has, yeah, yes.
Yeah, he.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve the agreement.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, second extension of agreement to rehabilitate property located at 4919 Pine Avenue, submitted for approval.
Mr. Luter requested this to be set out a couple weeks ago. We talked about it when it was up on status. This is the agreement. Ms. Mitchell has signed it.
Yes.
We request its approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve the second extension.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter C, disposal authorizations received from the Hammond Police Department, submitted for approval. Yeah. We saved them. Good.
Motion to approve the disposal authorizations.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, right-of-way permits received from engineering, submitted for approval.
Good morning again. We do have one from NIPSCO, and actually, this is a major upgrade. They consider it South Hammond, but it's east of Calumet. Pretty much straight shots over on 65th, so it's up and down. And if you look at the map, there's different segments that are build areas, and we have plans for that, but obviously it's about 35 pages. We met with NIPSCO yesterday, and this is a project for next year, upgrading the system in that particular area. And it'll be forthcoming for them to actually, if there's any lane restrictions or closures, they'll take that at that particular time prior to it starts.
We had heard about this, Mark. Do you have any idea when it's going to start?
It's early next year.
Okay.
And I'll be on it because Nora List is their contact, and she's pretty good. We work together really well. So we'll let you know when it starts.
Okay.
So I recommend approval.
Recommend the approval of the right-of-way permits.
I second.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Letter E, Fourth Amendment to Agreement for Disposal of Yard Waste with Green Tree Enterprises LLC, submitted for approval.
We request this agreement be approved as presented. It is the same vendor that the Department of Public Works has been working with for some time. I spoke to Mr. Gonzalez. He believes that they're doing a great job and would like to continue with them. I also spoke to the administration, and they also were in favor of extending this agreement. So I'd like it to be approved by the board as presented.
Okay.
This isn't for garbage. This is for like yard waste.
Motion to approve the agreement.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Moving on to number 10, old business, 5235 State Line.
So we set this for status, I want to say a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, because the owner, Mr. Flores, is that sound right? Didn't show up. 10/26 we were here, so 2 weeks ago. We reset it for today. I guess I'd ask Mr. Luter what's going on, because Mr. Flores was coming without an issue, and then he hasn't been.
Just to say, the only thing I could think of is we may be in a position where we're between building and getting all the subcontractors in, electric, plumbing, HVAC. Or it could be a supply issue. I haven't spoken to the contractor on it. I did email Mr. Flores immediately after the meeting, requesting his presence, and I know we sent a letter as well. So
He's well outside of his
Rehab agreement?
rehab agreement. So that's my concern, is that, we have a demolition order. We haven't had any good contact from him since the spring.
Right.
And so I don't know if we could request a letter to go out from Board of Works. Maybe Linda, you could send a letter to him as the owner and just say, look, we haven't heard from you. You need to contact Mr. Luter. And because I don't like having these properties out there without a rehab agreement in place under a demo order, either does Bill. So that's why we need something.
Right, I'm with you.
I don't know if Mr. Castro's here? Is he here?
No, he's not.
No?
I'm
Okay.
just surprised because he was coming regularly. Yes.
So to kind of keep this on the radar, could we set this for the 30th? That'll give him 21 days. And then let's, Linda, if you could also CC Mr. Castro and Mr. Luter on that letter. Thank you. That's what I request.
Okay.
Motion to set 5235 State Line for status on November 30th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to letter B, 2314 Indianapolis Boulevard.
So Mr. Rana is here this morning, and I know she's been working on the property slowly but surely. Mr. Luter's continuing to monitor it. He's requested an additional 90 days on the rehab, so we're going to need to get a new an amendment to the rehab agreement in front of the board, but if we could have a 90-day date.
February
27.
22nd.
Okay, great.
Motion to set the matter for status for February 22nd of 2024.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, moving on to number 11, business exception hearings. And we're starting with 2007 169th Woodmark Gas and Food Mart. Who was all here to represent 2007 169th? See ya, thank you. See you, Chris.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the owner.
Okay.
I'm a manager at that location.
Okay,
We talked last time.
Yes, I remember
about
you.
other locations.
Yes.
And we're just petitioning this one as well.
Okay, so give us your name again.
My name is Sonny Tawana. Tiwana.
Okay, and then we need his full name.
Yadvinder Khatra,
Can you help us with?
Yadvinder,
YADVIN.
Do it again, YAE,
YADVINDER.
okay?
last name Khatra, KHATRA,
HAA,
TRA.
yeah, okay. Okay. Give me 1 second here, I'm going to read this before we get started. Are you the only two that will be speaking
Yes,
on behalf of the gas station today?
yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning. The next matter before the board is a request for the exemption to Section F of Ordinance 9605, brought by the petitioner, Woodmark Gas and Food Mart. The petitioner has requested that the fueling station located at 2007 169th be excluded from the requirement within the city of Hammond that fueling stations be closed from midnight to 5 a.m. I would like to first determine whether or not proper notice has been given to the neighboring property owners by the petitioner. The requirement is that the petitioner give notice of today's hearing to all properties located within 300 feet of the petitioner's property line. Linda, has that happened?
34 out of 42 on October 30th.
What was I guess I just have a question. What was with the other 8? They just didn't get proof of it?
No, some of them have a duplicate, like they have two same. Sorry. Some of them have the two like duplicate addresses, same duplicate.
Okay, yep.
That's by.
Okay, when did you send them out? Do you remember what dates you sent them out?
October 30th.
Okay,
So we're good on everything but 8, and it sounds like the 8 he's saying were duplicates.
duplicates, so we're good then?
Sounds like we're good, Linda. And there's proof of certified?
Okay, then I will continue. If anyone's present besides the petitioner to speak for or against the petitioner's request for an exemption, please make yourself known. You two are the only two that are going to be speaking. And you're only speaking as an interpreter, correct, Sonny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Tawana, do you have any ownership interest in the property?
No,
Are you just kind of like here as a representative, or do you manage the property?
I manage.
You
He
manage
did say he
it?
was a manager, yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. As a petitioner, you have the ability to now present to the board your rationale as to why you believe your fueling station should be allowed the exception. As you know, there are several factors in the ordinance that the board will consider and weigh in making the determination, and I would ask you to be aware of those factors and to present your argument and evidence today with those factors in mind. Before we get started with testimony, do you have any evidence, physical evidence, that you'd like to present to the Board of Works or to the Attorney Smith?
No.
You're both good? Okay. If you could both then raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear that the testimony you will give this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Then go ahead, Mr. Is it Hadi? Is that how we say it? Last name?
Katra.
I must not.
K-H-A-T-R-A.
One more time.
K-H-A-T-R-A. Katra.
Okay.
H-A-D-I.
Okay, then go ahead with your argument, please.
Yeah, we want to stay open at this location. For one, I think 24/7, since we're by the highway, I think it's important that we stay open. I don't think a lot of people on that are even petitioning. I know a few did. They're not even staying open. So I think we would be like the only two on that side of the highway to stay open. Also, there's a lot of, people going to work, to Chicago or anywhere else, early in the morning. And I think since we're on a prime street, it's important that we stay open at night because some people are going to work at 3, 4 in the morning. We're by the college, there's the Purdue Calumet. There's a lot of people that, need convenience at night and whatnot. And just for safety purposes, I think, at night, we would like to stay open.
You say you're the only two. What other station are you referring to?
I think, the Save a Stop or something. I don't know if they petitioned.
Are you associated with the same?
No,
stop?
I
Okay.
was just assuming.
Anything else?
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
Does the city have any questions for either?
Yes, either Mr. Katra or Mr. Tawana, do you know the corporate name associated with this property?
Super Petroleum Inc.
Super
Petroleum Inc.
Petroleum Inc.?
Yes, sir.
Petroleum.
Super Petroleum Inc. Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Super Petroleum Inc.
Okay, and do you know whether or not your property is registered with the city under Super Petroleum Inc.? I show a business license under your name, sir, Mr. Yadvinder Katra.
Yes, sir. Bodmar Gas and Food Mart.
Right, but the corporate name,
It's Super Petroleum Inc.
okay, and is that registered with the state of Indiana?
Yes, sir.
You file taxes under that name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you owned the property?
2007, almost 16 years.
All right, and has it always been under Super Petroleum Inc.?
Yes, sir.
Since 2007, have you owned both the gas station and do you own the real estate? Maybe that's better.
Yes, sir.
Is the real estate also owned by Super Petroleum Inc.?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been open 24 hours?
We always open when we bought it from same times.
Since 07?
2007, yes.
And do you have cameras at the location?
We have the camera with the police department attached.
Okay, are you connected to fuses?
Yes, sir.
And how many people work overnight?
3 people, you can say that.
3 employees every night, overnight?
Not overnight, 1 person in the midnight and one in morning, one in
Yeah, I'm just asking from midnight to 5.
1 person.
1 person.
Yes.
And do you have bulletproof glass?
Yes, sir.
And do you have cameras inside?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any further questions.
Or does the board have any questions?
No.
Okay, at this time, then you can have a seat, okay? You'll be able to speak again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have no further evidence, I will now let the city present their case regarding the exception. Mr. Smith, you may go ahead.
Thanks, Nick. Good morning to the board.
Morning.
city has some information for the board to present. Just get myself organized here, sorry. I'd like to first show the board a call log, which is a call log of all calls on the property for the last 5 years. Here's Exhibit 1. I'm going to give a copy to Mr. Tatra and Juana. I'd also like to give the board a copy of Exhibits 2, which is a report by Mr. Novak, who was here present. And Exhibit 3, which is a copy of a screenshot from the controller's office. And then Exhibit 3A, which is a report from Mr. Farrell at the Inspections Department. Exhibit 2 and Exhibit 3A also have photographs attached to them depicting the property. So this property, I guess at its outset, I would just mention, is not what I would consider close to the highway. It's a good 6 blocks off, probably. I think it's at 169th and the Boulevard. So, and I would note that at this time, the Luke's gas station at 173rd, between 173rd and 175th on the east side is closed overnight. It's a pretty quiet stretch overnight, I think, and there are residences directly to the east, to the east and behind, pretty dense residential area outside of the Boulevard. So I don't believe, at least, I don't think it fits within the framework of closed for interstate travelers. I'd like to call, if I could, Sergeant Godey up to discuss, Lieutenant Godey up to discuss the situation at this property. Lieutenant Godey, could you please introduce yourself to the board? I'm sorry, after
Do you swear that the testimony you will give the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Godey, could you please state your name and the board and your position with the police department?
Yes, my name is Christopher Godey. I'm the Fusus Administrator for the Hammond Police Department.
Okay, and Lieutenant Godey, are you familiar with the property located at 2007 169th, the Woodmar Gas and Food Mart?
Yes.
Okay, so could you explain to the board your familiarity with it and your experience with this property?
Yes, Mr. Tawana introduced us to,
Mr. Katra?
it wasn't him, it was someone else, but Sergeant Matanovich installed Fusus recently. It is working. They have 22 cameras, I believe. Many outside, I mean, 6 to 8 outside. The remainder are inside. They are all good quality. They are working. They do have the bulletproof glass that the clerk is behind, and there are several cameras that can see if the clerk is okay or not. They do have the bright LED lighting in the parking lot. And it's not only under the canopy, it's also in the parking area that's just on the south side of the building.
Okay, and as far as, before this last meeting occurred, had you had any opportunity to visit that property or have any contact with the owners on any other matter?
Yes.
Okay, and can you explain that?
There are a couple things. They've been cooperative with us. There was an incident in the parking lot. There's been a couple occasions that we've had to get video from them or credit card numbers from fraud investigations, and they've always been cooperative.
And those are for both fraud and any violent incident?
There was a domestic shooting in that parking lot. I believe it's past this 2-year mark that we have here.
Okay, but was it within the last 5 years?
Yes.
And did that result, there was a shooting?
Yes, it was domestic related. I don't believe the victim died, but she was shot by, I believe, her boyfriend, soon-to-be ex-boyfriend, in the parking lot.
Okay, Sergeant Godey, Lieutenant Godey, anything else you'd like to report to the board regarding this property?
No.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions of Lieutenant Godey.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions for Lieutenant Godey?
No.
Okay, thank you. Board, do you have any questions for Lieutenant Godey? Okay, thank you.
Next, would like to call Tom Novak to discuss his report. Mr. Novak, welcome back.
You
If you could please.
if you raise your right hand, yeah.
Ask some questions.
Do you swear that the testimony you will give the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Novak, could you please state your name and your position with the city?
Yeah, Tom Novak. I'm the Assistant City Planner.
And Mr. Novak, did you produce what I marked as Exhibit 2, dated Thursday, November 9th, a report regarding this property located at 6845 Indianapolis Boulevard, also known as 2007 169th Street?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you've also attached some photos. Were those taken recently?
Yes, yesterday.
Okay, and it looks like there are...
Or 2 days ago, I'm sorry.
2 days ago, all right. So it appears that from a safety perspective, you're concerned that signage is blocking most windows over 25%?
Yeah, I would say that the number one thing is that the windows are basically almost all the windows are completely covered by signage, and then behind a lot of the signage is also shelving.
And just looking, is this an example of the windows that are covered almost completely?
Yes, and the door as well.
So I'd show that photo to the board, and the doors as well.
Mhm.
And would you, is that a yes?
Yes.
And would you agree that that creates a safety concern from your perspective?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Okay. So outside of the signage, what else did you observe that you believe needs to be corrected?
Things we've seen at other places, no ADA parking. There were some signs on bollards, temporary signs put up. The dumpster was placed on a dirt, grass, gravel, and it's not fenced in.
You noticed some graffiti, correct?
Yes. So there was graffiti on, kind of near the northwest corner of the building and on the alley side.
Okay, and this can create a safety concern because the graffiti, of course, can mark territory for gangs. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then there's just other things like, empty rusted cage for propane tanks is,
A rusted cage?
yeah, for propane tanks could be moved, that's kind of blocking one of the front doors that isn't in use anymore, but could be in use in an emergency.
Taking photos of the property
but-
indicated.
Yeah, no, these things, some paint is peeling, gutters need to be repaired, some warp siding, stuff like that. But, as far as safety, what we mentioned before, then also address, I will say, is very badly worn on the front. They should put an address on the front and back.
And do you know what is the correct address for this property?
Okay, so that is a good point to bring up. So they operate, and I have a business license issued to 2007 169th Street, but the parcel address recognized by Lake County, 6845 Indianapolis Boulevard. Since the front door faces Indianapolis Boulevard, that may be a more...
All right, so do
Yeah.
you believe that as part of this, if the exception is granted, or even if it's not, the address is currently in violation because it's not correct?
Yeah, it needs to be rectified either between county or between our business license records, or, yeah.
Okay, and you're, from the planning department's perspective, you'd prefer 6845 to be the address posted?
We would, yes.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, and I obviously request that exhibits 1 and 2 be made part of the record, and 3 and 3A for that matter, but I don't have any other questions, Mr. Miller.
I have one question.
Yes.
That lot that is the unpaved part of it that's north of the gas station, how far does their property go into that unpaved lot?
Yeah, so basically, as far as I can tell off the GIS system, it goes all the way up to the Boulevard Lounge.
If you look on this sheet, you
to
can
the-
see the faded
Yeah.
blue.
So pretty much all the way up to that building then, huh?
So I am not sure if they have agreements with Boulevard Lounge or if customers just use it because it's convenient, but yeah, they actually do own that property.
Gotcha.
And that is where the dumpster is also located.
Okay.
And the dumpster is not enclosed?
Yeah, it's not.
No.
So you need that, it needs to be enclosed.
It should be moved onto asphalt or concrete and enclosed, yeah.
Gentlemen, sorry, go ahead. Do you have any questions for Mr. Novak?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Novak.
Thanks.
It also, Exhibits 3 and 3 have to do business licensing. Of course, Mr. Farrell is here. I'd like to call Mr. Farrell.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you swear that the testimony you will give the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Farrell, could you please state your name and your position with the city?
My name is Nicholas Farrell. I'm the City Hammond Code Enforcement Commissioner.
And Mr. Farrell, did you have occasion to produce a report dated November 9th, located entitled Ordinance Violation Property Report, which I marked as 3A?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so could you briefly describe for the issue that you, well, let me ask you this first. Is it accurate that there is not a current business license on the property?
Technically, due to the address that it is issued to, there would not be one. There is a business license issued to 2007 169th Street to Woodmark Gas and Food Mart. However, 2007 169th Street is an address which does not exist according to Lake County records, and Woodmark Gas and Food Mart is not a valid business name or operation that's recognized by the Secretary of State.
Okay, so it sounds like they need to get some paperwork corrected, is that right?
Correct, yes, we need correct and accurate information on the license applications that are submitted.
All right, and other than that, I see that your ordinance report kind of mirrors Mr. Novak's regarding fencing, some other items that probably need to just be cleaned up.
Yep, when I was on site taking photos on the 6th, the owner did happen to come out and have a conversation with me. He did indicate that he has a contractor lined up to begin making some repairs to the soffit and fascia, which are, in need of some attention. Chipping, peeling paint, rod and boards. There's a lot of trash that's blown around. They are on a pretty busy intersection. Again, with the dumpsters and signage and stuff, so they have some work that needs to be taken care of. But yes, for the most part, the owner said that they do have a plan to move forward. The property is listed under the ownership of Super Petroleum Inc. That is a registered business name with the Secretary of State. However, they're listed as the property owner. The business operation is a separate entity which would need its own documentation if that's what they so choose.
The business license in the city is under Woodmark Gas and Food Mart, but there's no indication that that there's any listing of Super Petroleum Inc.
Correct.
It could be Super Petroleum Inc. DBA.
Correct.
Woodmark Gas
Yep.
and Food Mart, DBA Citgo.
Correct, yeah, so that's what I provided today was a certification of assumed business name application they can fill out to submit as soon as they get their LLC straightened out with what they want operating the business. Since they're advertising as a Citgo gas station, then they would need to submit this application to the Secretary of State to operate as such.
And you should also, to make sure the timing has it, you need to record an assumed business name.
Correct.
But not this one. Okay. All right, I don't have any questions for Mr. Farrell.
Has it always been licensed with the 2007 address?
So it has been licensed from 2005 through 2024, with the only exception being in 2011, there's no record of a license being issued. So I'm not sure what happened that year.
Right.
But he's asking, has it always been?
Yes.
Oh, on the list.
Yes, yeah. So the first license that was issued under 2007 169th Street. So it
Yeah.
would be a matter of just verifying and confirming the information that's submitted prior to approving licenses.
I guess I just want to make them aware that I don't find you at fault for that.
Correct.
So I'm not holding that against you, but you do need to get it straightened out though, okay? We just want to make sure that you know that we're not holding that against you.
Right.
If I may also, let me
Yeah.
just note, I did note that the faded address on the front does use 6845.
Correct.
So that's interesting. So at some point in the past, someone was using 6845
Okay.
for the business, but.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Mr. Farrell at this time? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And you're done, Mr. Smith?
I'm sorry, yes, I am done, and I think I mentioned it, but I'd ask that the exhibits be made part of the record, 1 through 3A.
Thank you. Gentlemen, do you have any questions for Mr. Smith at this time or the city? Okay. If the city has no further evidence, the petitioner now has the opportunity to present any testimony or evidence in reply. Do you have anything you'd like to reply? You have a time for a closing argument if you'd like? You're both good? You're both good? Okay, if not, then the city will then have 5 minutes, please, to present their closing argument.
You guys didn't want to say anything in closing, you're good?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Just going through the factors, incidents of criminal acts and police calls over the last 5 years with emphasis on the last 24 months. I don't think it's like overly voluminous, but I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I don't think there's been a ton of calls there, and it appears that as far as violent acts, the only one that we know of is the shooting that Lieutenant Godey spoke about, which was beyond 2 years, but I believe within the 5 years. So whether it's part of the FUSIS program, it is currently. Whether or not there's adequate security presence overnight, it sounds like bulletproof glass. I didn't ask about mag locks, but it does sound like they do have bulletproof glass with one person there overnight. Whether it's in a residential area versus a commercial or industrial area, I would say it's commercial, but it does back up against a residential area in that area. I know there's a couple bars there, but it is on the edge of the residential area, and a very nice residential area, part of our city. I would not consider this property to be easily accessible by interstate travelers just because it is 6 blocks off the highway. I mean, just looking at, I guess, taking my own travel habits when I exit a interstate that I'm not familiar with the city or town, I generally look for something right off the interstate, so I would not consider this to be one of those. It does have other city ordinance violations. I think that we've listed those. The most concerning that I see is the signage. I think that's always a concern.
Yes.
I think Lieutenant Godey mentioned that the lighting is adequate. Sounds like they have enough lighting, sounds like they have enough cameras. And whether it's properly licensed with the city, I would say it's not, but it needs to be. And so we've seen that in other stations. Staying open overnight is now a privilege. It's not a requirement. It's not a right. So it's a privilege. And I would think that folks that want to stay open overnight need to get in line with what needs to be done on their property. So I leave it to the board. I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I could easily see how this could be closed because it is a pretty quiet stretch overnight, and there are other stations that are not open. And so I don't know if the need is there. I mean, if the need was there, you would see other stations open overnight in that area because obviously, economics drives business, right? For the most part, they're going to make decisions based on their economic interest. And I don't know whether or not, if at least 2 other stations that I know of are closed overnight, it doesn't seem like there's a necessity to be open in this location. So I'd leave it to the board at their discretion to determine whether or not this should be open overnight.
Okay. Thank you for your presentations today. The board will now take this matter under advisement. The board will notify the petitioner in writing of its ruling by regular, certified, and electronic mail within 10 days of this hearing. If an exception is granted, it shall be valid for 1 year from the date of the termination and subject to revocation if any circumstances change. Additionally, you must reapply for the exception annually if it's granted. You understand that, sir? Okay, thank you very much.
I just wanted to make sure that, and maybe confirm with Mr. Tuan and Mr. Katra, that currently they are closed overnight, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that would remain the situation until
Yeah, we are closed right now.
Okay, thank you.
Until our ruling, yeah, you would stay closed, correct? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Moving on to letter B, 6318 Calumet Avenue, Mia Mart Incorporated. You keep, please approach, Stan. Are you two the only two that will be speaking on behalf of the gas station?
Yes.
So you're both here to speak on behalf of the
Yeah,
gas
because
station?
the
Okay.
owner, he can't make it today, so
Okay.
he sent the manager, and the manager called me to try to help him for some translate if he need.
Okay, let's get you sworn. What's your first and last name, sir?
Isa Hamed,
Could you spell that, sir?
ISSSA,
I,
SSA,
Isa,
yeah, last name Hamed, HAMED.
H-A-M-E-D. Okay, great. And your position is what?
Just friends.
friends, okay, representative.
Yeah, because I live here in Indiana, he from Chicago, so I'm close to him. He called me last night to help me for translate, because I live here in Highland, and he live in
So
Chicago.
you're translating? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Okay, can we get his first and last name?
Yeah,
Peter Salah, P-A-D-R, last name Salah, S-A-L-E-H.
What was the first name? I'm sorry.
Badr.
Badr, okay, B-A-D-R.
Yes,
And Salah, S-A-L-E-H.
L-E-H, yes.
Correct.
And Mr. Salah, you can translate for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Salah, what is your position with the company?
شو
B-A-D-R,
شو شغلك
Yeah.
هناك؟
Manager.
He's the manager here in the store.
Is he there daily?
انت هناك كل يوم؟
Yes.
We were talking, his position is manager, is that what he
Yeah.
said? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you both could raise your right hand for me, please.
ارفع ايدك اليمين.
Do you swear that the testimony will give the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do the whole truth, nothing else but the truth.
Okay. Give me 1 second here, then. Good morning. The next matter before the board is a request for an exception to Section F of Ordinance 9605, brought by the petitioner, Mia Mart Incorporated. The petitioner has requested that the fueling station located at 6318 Calumet Avenue be excluded from the requirement within the city of Hammond that fueling stations be closed from midnight to 5 a.m. I would like to first determine whether or not proper notice has been given to the neighboring property owners by the petitioner. The requirement is that the petitioner give notice of today's hearing to all properties located within 300 feet of the petitioner's property line, and Linda, did that happen?
I do not have proper notice of being certified.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. Do you know when you sent what you sent out? What day did you send it out?
في معك شيء وديت عارف شو الأوراق اللي وديتهم كذا؟
Yeah, hell paper.
He has the whole paper with him because he told me he tried to send it overnight business, but because he got the stamp and envelope, they reject it. But he got the all paperwork you asked him for. He got it
Okay, well, we're going to need to know the date that you sent it out,
last Monday. Last Monday.
last Monday.
Yeah.
So were they sent regular mail? Do you know, does he know the difference between regular and certified mail?
Yeah, regular.
Yeah. أنت
Regular
وديت
mail.
Yeah.
What about certified? Because the certified here,
certified.
can you show that to the board, Linda, what they have?
Okay. See, this doesn't look like it was sent certified. It looks like maybe that's what you thought you had in mind, but you didn't follow through with it. Do you know the difference between regular and certified mail?
No, I don't know.
Because the certified mail is like $8 per envelope.
Yep. Okay.
And so usually, do we have the other ones?
And it requires a signature from the person getting it.
Yeah, and we know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know this. Yeah. Okay.
So,
هذا
like,
ما
this is the last gas
يوقع. Yeah.
Yes.
See how those are stamped
Uh-huh.
by the date they went out,
Yeah,
and then a
exactly.
receipt
Yeah.
showing that they went out?
Uh-huh.
So do you have any proof that the letters went out? 'Cause they're
No,
$8.
في معك approve.
Did you pay that? $8 would be like $300.
No, I put regular
yeah.
stamp and envelope.
See, and so the requirement is that he sends it certified.
Yeah. Okay. But there's cause أنت اللي وراك معك صح مش اللي ورجتني إياها registration. So أنت قلت لي امبارح رح تجيبهن ولا أول امبارح؟
لا موجود، لا هذا ورق ثاني.
بس أنت قلت لي حطيت عليها الميل وبعدين حطيتها عشان أرجعها ما أخذهاش يعني.
لا وديناهم
Can, can we ask one other question?
Yeah.
Was he the one responsible for sending, who was responsible for doing this? The owner or him?
أنت
You were the one responsible?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to make sure that you guys, I know there's a language barrier here. I want to make sure that you always understand what
Yeah,
we're saying.
yeah.
So if you don't, stop me and so we can
Yeah,
repeat it,
exactly.
okay? So we're going to have a problem with this. We don't, at this point, proper notification wasn't made.
Okay.
So we may have to reschedule this hearing so that, to give you time to make the proper notification.
Okay.
And I hope you understand that part.
Yeah, I understand this part, but exactly. So what he tried to say, he tried to send the mail, but he got the stamp. He didn't. He got the certificate for business, like what you asked him for, but he stamped it with a regular stamp. He told me it been rejected. So he got the whole paper you looking for. He bring the whole paper with him today.
Did you bring it with you?
Yeah, the whole
Let's see it.
paper. Yeah. جيب له.
Yeah, if you have that, that'll satisfy
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, so this, all this is what we send him to say, here's the list, you have to send it out to everybody,
Yeah,
right? And this is the list, and,
I send him this one.
yeah, that's
what
good
they're
that you
looking
sent
at
this
right now.
out.
That's what they're looking at right now.
55 mail.
Yeah, but I don't think it was sent certified. It looks like it was sent regular mail.
It does,
Yeah, go check what you have. So looks like it was sent regular mail.
yeah, because there's no proof that they sent them out. What does he have now? Kevin, what is,
Yeah, so this is what I mean, so like, on an envelope, like you fold it over, you put it on, but you have to go to the post office and pay the $8
Exactly.
per. And so then they'll stamp it on here and they'll give you that receipt, so that, so you can't just put a regular stamp on.
Okay, so
Right.
is that what you did? You put a regular stamp on
I
there?
think he folded this over like you're supposed to, but then just put a regular stamp on.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
That's
why he's
the
got all
issue.
these. with the-
Yeah.
With the regular stamp.
So, and I wish the owner was here because he's just the manager and I hate to blame him for this.
right.
It sounds like we're gonna, I mean, without proper notice, we don't know if the neighbors got notified of this.
Okay.
And so we're gonna have to reset it. He's gonna have to remail them the right way.
I hope you guys understand that every station that we've heard before us has sent out proper notification, registered, and
Okay.
so we cannot go forward with that. That didn't happen, so we can't go forward.
Okay,
But we
They
will,
need help.
yes,
Linda can help. Linda's always available to show them what they need to do and explain it to them.
okay,
So we can help you, but unless it's done right, we can't go forward because we can't confirm that the neighbors knew about the hearing.
اوكي سو
Okay.
بقول لك عليه انه لازم انت توديها يعني ما نقدرش نحكي لما تبقى هذه موجوده
trying to give them time just to understand.
اذا ياجلون عكتك راح ياجلونه لانه الطلب يبقى موجود تقريبا
لازم يصلح.
اوكي وهذه
Yeah,
ليندا اللي انت سالت عنها اول ما جينا اوكي خلاص هي بتساعدك اوكي
So at this point, we do have the ability to reschedule this for November 30th.
اوكي
That should give you plenty of time to do what you need to do.
اوكي
Just make sure it's registered, and like he said, it costs $8 a letter, not 55 cents for a stamp,
No,
okay?
okay.
And I'm not holding, that's, it's a mistake, no problem, okay? So at this point, make the notification, and unless we hear differently, we will reschedule this for November 30th,
اوكي اوكي
okay? Yeah, do you know where the law office is on the third floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out of the elevators, it's right across. If you need help, Linda will help you with the letters,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
thank
sorry
you,
about
gentlemen.
that, but thank
No
you.
problem.
Okay, we'll get it fixed and we'll have it on the 30th.
And Ahmed, just make sure he understands until the 30th, they have to stay closed from midnight to 5.
اوكي
He can't be open until November 30th,
اوكي
at least, okay?
اوكي
Who do these belong to, Linda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those.
Okay.
Or do you want me to give, Linda, do you want those to go back or do you want to keep those? Okay. Yep.
Okay. So then just for the record's sake, we are going to tentatively set 6318 Calumet Avenue. We're going to reset that to November 30th.
Yeah, and I would just request the board to instruct Mr. Hammond and Mr. Salah that the sooner they get the certified mail out, the better, right? So don't wait till a couple days before the hearing. They should do it this week or the next week.
Yeah, especially when you guys have Thanksgiving coming up, the holidays, you want to get those out as soon as possible so you can get them back, okay? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, then we're going to move on to the number 12, the meeting's open to the public. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? It's very audacious of you. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, we're ready.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.